This is Sandy Tankus for TOS50.com, the other side of 50, and I'm here today with Rabbi Ben David, who is one of the rabbis at Temple Sinai of Roslyn. But Ben is also one of the founders of something called Running Rabbis. Good morning, Ben.
Good morning.
And why don't you tell us, what is Running Rabbis?
Well, first of all, thank you for including me on the website. I'm a big fan of TOS50. And Running Rabbis, the idea behind Running Rabbis really is social action. In Judaism, what we often refer to as tikkun olam, which is repairing the world, the healing of the world. And ideally, each one of us participates in making our world a better place. So for me, personally, that's always been a question. How can I do that? How can I best do that? How can I bring my own skills and knowledge and abilities to making this world just a little bit better? And so when I was in graduate school, when I was in rabbinic school, I was doing a lot of running. I've always been a runner. I ran in college, actually. I ran through graduate school, and a friend and I, also a rabbi now, we had this idea that perhaps we could use this passion for running for the good somehow, that we could run races and we could encourage others to run races in the name of really positive causes. And it really begun from there. That was 2005. It was founded in 2005, and he and I, his name is Rabbi Scott Wiener, he and I ran this one race, that was the New York City Marathon in 2005, and together we raised money for a local soup kitchen, the Hebrew Union College soup kitchen. And at the time it seemed like that we were doing something that was substantial and that was large. We raised a little bit of money, we ran the marathon, which was a great experience. And following that race, after a little bit of recovery and healing, we realized maybe we're onto something here. And that's really where it began. That was the starting point.
Well, I know you have members today, so who belongs at this point to Running Rabbis?
Right, so that was 2005. Now we're in 2011. 6 years have gone by, and the Running Rabbis have grown as a group exponentially. We went from that one race and 2 rabbis 6 years ago. Now we represent all clergy of all faiths, of all ages. Over 100 clergy have run with us. We have some 500 or 600 followers on Facebook. We have our own Facebook page, Running Rabbis. And the idea is, no matter who you are, no matter how old you are, where you live, whether you're a walker or a runner or a biker, you can participate. And we've run multiple races all over the world, really, at this point. And we've raised money for a wide range of causes: autism research, feeding the hungry, helping those struggling with hearing loss, all of these causes that are really sort of near and dear to our heart.
And how do you decide? Do you have any specific way of deciding, what you're going to raise money for?
Well, that comes out of a couple of different sort of avenues. A lot of times we're responding to the most immediate needs around us. We, after the big earthquake in Haiti, we did something for Haiti. Now we're thinking about how can we somehow respond to the big earthquake in Japan. So it's often very much need-based, balancing that with sort of these ongoing needs of ways in which we can help disabled children, ways we can provide for the needy in our own backyard here in New York City. So it's sort of an ongoing discussion, similar to the kind of discussion that happens within the walls of the synagogue, which is, how can we provide for all of those that need help? That's a big question. That's a tough question, right? If only there were enough money to go around, if only there were enough resources to go around. So we just try to do as much as we possibly can. To date, we've raised close to $1 million for various causes.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. I think people are interested in sort of this concept of the Running Rabbis. It's something of an anomaly. It's a little bit tongue-in-cheek. The concept of these rabbis who run marathons, that's 26 miles. That's of interest to people. That appeals to people because it's not the ordinary. And so we've been picked up in magazines and in newspapers, and people respond to the fact that their religious leader is willing to sort of put his money where his mouth is, as it were, and very personally commit to Tikkun Olam.
Is everyone who runs as young as you are, or are there some older people running too?
All ages, all distances, all speeds. Scott, my colleague, and he and I tend to be very, very sort of competitive and committed to running as a sport, and we're very much interested in training and in really racing. But that's not the case for the whole group. We have people who are very much recreational. And the idea is we each do what we can. That's it. There's no pressure. We do as much as we possibly can.
And when is your next race?
So there's a couple races on the calendar now. The fall is usually our busy time. There are a couple of marathons we're going to take on in the fall. One is the Marine Corps Marathon, which is in Washington, D.C., and one of the reasons we chose that is because we're coming up on the 10-year anniversary of 9/11. So it seemed fitting to be in the nation's capital, at really sort of the heart of the nation, marking this 10th year of such a tragedy. That's one we're thinking of doing. There are a couple other sort of local races. We're involved in what's called the Orange Classic, which is a 10K, which is run in memory of Josh Stamm, who is was a real friend of the Running Rabbis, and a number of us are going to be taking part in that race. That's in June. So there's always something. There's always something to be done. And like I said, we're trying to do just everything we can personally.
Well, thank you so much for telling us about Running Rabbis, and I'll put the link to your site right here below your story so that people can go and find out more
Thank
if
you
they're
so
interested.
much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.